The switch up is crazy. All year long, it's been nothing but doubt, jokes, moving goalposts, believing in teams that had no business having belief being put in them, and now all of a sudden everybody believes. Hey, you don't gotta believe me. Just watch. That was Bruno Mars, wasn't it? Don't believe me, just watch.
Right here at presented by Freestyle Libre, Dio, Shefty, Rex, Dominique Fox.
I thought you were going to be nervous. You nailed that.
Do you have a D pun for Dallas?
1 hour, 59 minutes to go. Take our time, use our way, and this looks wonderful, by the way. It suits you quite nicely.
Well, it fits me because the Grinch, man. I mean, I'm pulling for my Lions. He stole Christmas. Lions blew that game.
That's of all the fits up here that you want to spotlight.
That's on a wild day in the NFL. Nothing was more wild.
Motown.
Crazy ending to this Lions-Steelers game. Let's head to Detroit. Jared Goff and the Lions hosting Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. We pick it up. 11 seconds left in the first half. Steelers trail 10-3. Aaron Rodgers taking a shot, Nick.
Oh, my God.
I just want to point out that today is the 53rd anniversary for the Immaculate Reception. And the thing that I find bonkers about this is that Christmas Day 2016, Antonio Brown had the Immaculate Extension. And Sunday, Kenny Gainwell had another just freakish catch and scored a touchdown. So shout out to Franco. Franco, we love you. We miss you. I know I remember growing up and just seeing Franco at the games. You know, Franco was just like the one guy everybody loved, you know. And there's so many just crazy stories. When people find out I'm a Steeler fan, like, especially if it's like an older fan, like, they always got a Franco story. It don't matter where I'm at. They always got a Franco story. So shout out to Franco. Franco, your spirit lives on through Steeler Nation, and we miss you, baby. Real live, respect.
Taking a shot, Nick.
Oh, my God. It's unfortunate as a DB to watch that. I know it's a linebacker, but you're going to call pass interference in ridiculous one-handed catch, and a highlight's going to play it over and over and over.
I'm also
Incredible
shocked
catch.
the Lions were like, let's play man coverage in this situation with 14 seconds.
That's what the Lions do.
Initially ruled an incompletion. It's overturned. Gainwell scores. Steelers tie it, leading 15-10. Pittsburgh with a 2nd and 5 near midfield. Jalen Warren. See ya, Dio.
Outstanding job by Warren.
Jalen Warren is so fast, man. That dude is so fast, man. He made a cut and he was gone.
Near midfield. Jalen Warren. See ya, Dio.
Outstanding job by Warren cutting back. Everyone's like, well, where's the safety? DK Metcalf was opposite. Those defensive backs and safeties got to pay a little bit of attention. Really good cut, explosive run.
Steelers leading 22-10. Next Lions drive, 4th and 2 on the Pittsburgh 27. Khalif Raymond outrunning the defense, 27-yard touchdown. Lions back in it, 22.
Some life, Joe, some life.
Little bit of life, but here we go, Coach. Jalen Warren again. You figured we'd make the adjustments, right?
God, I hate this right here.
And he pulled up at the end. It wasn't like he was going full speed all the way through to the touchdown. He pulled up at the end. Man, feed Jalen.
Horrible run defense.
And I remember before the season, when the Pittsburgh Steelers extended Jalen Warren's contract, everybody was like, yo, nah, I can't believe they did that. He didn't deserve it. Make him earn it. Bro, he has been a Steeler. He has been a workhorse for a long time for us. A guy that, you know, whenever he stepped on the field, he made plays. He made plays. Like, I don't know what else you want from the man. You know, people trying to call him the fumble king. I debunked that. I pulled up a list of a whole bunch of other guys that had crazy amount of fumbles. You know what I'm saying? And Jalen Warren had like 2. Like, it's just, the hate is real. The hate is real.
It's all day for the Lions.
All 3 Steelers touchdowns were from exactly 45 yards.
Wow. Exactly 45 yards.
4-yard line. Dio, what do we have?
A nice job by Jahmyr Gibbs in the flat. Need to have it kind of a condensed formation. Really good job getting the ball out.
Here's where it gets interesting. Following the Steelers missed field goal under 2 minutes to play. Lions going for it. 4th and 2 from their own 35. Looks like it's over.
And this is where it began. This is where it began. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why the Lions was in field position to score a touchdown in the first place was because they got penalty yards to get all the way down the field.
Penalty.
Yeah, this This one is kind of bang, bang, slowed down. It looks like he gets there a blink of an eye sooner, but if this isn't thrown, I'm not sitting there going,
I like that, man. I like that.
That one's close.
We can be friends.
We're going to get to one that's
in
not.
the drive, 2nd and 10. Goff to Amon-Ra
I ain't gonna
St.
lie.
Brown, 24-yard.
When he broke them first 2 tackles, I thought that was ball game. I thought that was ball game. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was ball game.
Drive. Lions threatening, and this is where it gets good. 30 seconds remaining. Lions, 1st and goal from the 1. Easy peasy. Look at this, Orlovsky.
Yeah, this is a terrible pass interference. It's just sprint right. You're trying to get the outside receiver to go down and create traffic. He goes down. He gets pushed into the safety. He's just trying to finish his route and get through. That is not offensive pass interference.
Not true. Darren Orlovsky is also a Lions alumni. You know, for those who don't know, his most famous play as a Detroit Lion is running out the back of his own end zone. Okay, so we don't care about what you feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers, big dog, because we know it's coming from a place of hate. You know what I'm saying? Love and hate come from the same place, though, so it is what it is. But, yeah, that was 1,000% pass interference because they called a pass interference from Darnell Washington earlier in the game for the exact same play. So if that was pass interference from Darnell Washington, that was pass interference 1,000% on the Detroit Lions. Stop the cap. But you don't even bring that up, though. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's the hate. It's the hate, bro. It's the hate, man.
It's called for it, but the Lions still have a chance. We're 4th and goal now. Now take a look at this. Amon-Ra St. Brown, does he have it? What a stop by the Steelers. There's flags. He laterals of all people. It's Jared Goff into the end zone. The Lions appear to...
They had it stopped already, so it didn't matter. He didn't cross the goal line. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a touchdown.
Have won. The refs converge. No one's happy about any of this. Neek, take me through what's happening here.
Yeah, cheating is what's happening here. This is a good call. He ran right into him and threw both arms out, full extension, created separation. And then after that, the play after that was some really instinctive stuff, and it was impressive. But
I'm surprised Neek said something positive about the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? Because he a Ravens player. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised he was objective and said something positive about the Pittsburgh Steelers, even if it was just one thing.
So we get a second offensive PI there, and because the clock had run out, the game ends. Steelers 29-24. Here's Jared Goff.
The one where Saint caught it that we thought was a touchdown. In my opinion, that's a bad call. And I don't know. But
crybaby.
Listen, man, they got a tough job and they make
crybaby
go our way all the time.
The intervention.
Crybaby. Dude, they took one from us on the exact same thing. The exact same call. Crybaby.
Those happen. Listen, man, they got a tough job and they make calls that go our way all the time.
The intervention I saw from those refs late in that game, I've never seen 2 offensive PIs to lose a game like that.
Hey, big dog. The excuses pouring out this locker room is crazy. I mean, you played a bad game. What you were supposed to come in the game and do to us was set another rushing record on our defense. They had 15 yards rushing with Sonic and Knuckles. 15 yards rushing. We had 230 yards rushing. Stop the cap. Bunch of crybabies, yo. Like, all I see is grown men on this joint whining and complaining. You know what I'm saying? When they had favorable calls on them all game long. The Steelers just prevailed. And the reason why they was even in that red zone was because they got penalties all the way down the field. Whatever.
A rare moment in sports talk where we will break down what may have been a controversial call. Doesn't happen very often in the sports world, but that's where we are going to begin today. Coach, did they get it right?
They got the last one right, but they certainly got the previous one dead ass wrong. Like
the pick play, again, we keep coming back to this pick play. So, all right, cool. We confirmed they got the last one right. So, yeah, squash all the nonsense. They got the last one right. The pick play was right, too, because they called a pick play on us as well. They called it fair. A pick play for a pick play. They called it fair.
the defensive guy on the St. Brown touchdown, he's the guy that initiated the contact right here on Tesla. He initiated the contact. This is an awful call. And unfortunately, it cost the Lions a win here.
You sitting here with a Lions Grinch sweater on, and you going to tell me what's an awful call? Biased.
And probably a playoff spot. So this is atrocious right
Bro, you lost 6 games before you played us. How you blaming us for losing your playoff spot? You lost 6 games before you even saw Pittsburgh. How you blaming us for that? You losing your playoff spot was 1,000% on you. It ain't got nothing to do with us. We beat you fair and square. And the calls they called for us, they called for y'all. And we had more penalty yards. We had more penalty yards, man. Stop it.
here. Now, on the other, the last one, okay, the last one, clearly, it was a PI by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, he goes in, and as soon as he extends with both hands, it's a penalty. So right here, you see, right here, he jumps into Ramsey and puts both hands on him. That's going to be called, and that's the appropriate call. All right? What St. Brown has to do in that situation, understand this is going to be a 3-man rush by Pittsburgh. And quite honestly, it was only a 2-man rush here.
Yep.
You're going to have time. You don't need to get the separation. You have plenty of time. And unfortunately, that was the outcome. But, I mean, there's no two ways about it. The first one to St. Brown was a touchdown. Absolute touchdown.
Can I offer a little bit of, like, I agree with you guys that play is never called. But you guys being a little disingenuous when you're saying that Tesla is trying to run his route. That's the way the play is designed. Right. He ran it effectively. They never call it.
And Dominique, he's a former DB. So when he played in the NFL, he's a defensive back. So he's giving perspective from a defensive back. He's saying that's the way the play is designed. Yes, 1,000%. They have what's called rub routes. They have routes where they are trying to like pick guys off and make it look natural. So you know what I'm saying. But on this joint with Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know, the play was designed that way. Like, stop it. And people are crying. This is the second time Dominique has said something positive about the Steelers. This is crazy. He don't do this. He does not do this. The tide is shifting. But I would prefer for everybody to stay on that side. We play so much better as underdogs.
Trying to run his route. That's the way the play is designed. Right. He ran it effectively. They never call it, but he is intentionally trying to set that pick and screen. I agree in this situation. I've never seen that call, but I understand the referee's rationale, and I think the Lions would also say that while this was...
They say he got pushed into... Man, stop it.
I understand the referee's rationale, and I think the Lions would also say...
That was no push. That was not no push, Slim. Stop the cap.
But I understand the referee's rationale, and I think the Lions would also...
Cry baby. He was trying to grab his arm. He was trying to grab his arm, but you don't see this. You don't see this. You see this. He's trying to hook him.
Say that while... But I understand the referee's rationale, and I think the Lions would also say that while this was the last call or one of the final calls that helped to decide this game, that's not the reason why they lost. No. The reason why they lost.
Nah, the players were saying that's the reason why they lost.
Because they had big explosive runs being made time after time in that game. That's what killed them.
Yeah, I agree with the refereeing and all that. I think the first one's a miss. The second one's the right call. The bigger takeaway for me is...
Just can't accept defeat. They just cannot accept defeat. It's always going to be an excuse because it's not who they wanted to win, right? It's just like life, right? Somebody that's like extremely blessed usually got a lot of haters because a lot of people don't like the fact that it's them. A lot of people don't like the fact that it's you that's winning. So they hate. They hate and they prey on your downfall.
I think it's one of the most impressive wins by anybody in the NFL this year by Pittsburgh. I would have not guessed that Pittsburgh would have gone into Detroit and whooped Detroit on both sides of the line of scrimmage. This is a defense in Pittsburgh that everybody was running the football on. Detroit could not run the ball at all. And then vice versa, this is an offense that, running the ball is like, let's just be efficient. And they create the explosive runs. And the other part is this. In the last 3 weeks, I would tell you that Aaron Rodgers is throwing the football the best that he has since 2022. So we're talking 3+ years. This 3-week stretch of throwing the ball and some of the throws that he has made. So if this offense is going to have some of these explosive runs, and Rodgers is going to do whatever he wants with the football, this is a team that has my attention more after this performance than it had up until a month ago.
So a few weeks ago, the fans in Pittsburgh were calling for Mike Tomlin's job.
We do this every year. We do it every year.
Fire Tomlin! Fire Tomlin!
And that is why you see this change. Desperate times calls for desperate measures, okay? Something that we have never seen, something that we have never heard a couple years ago is when people was calling for fire Canada. I've been to several games, and I never heard for the fan base to call for anybody to get fired like that in that fashion. But it sparked change. And for a brief moment, there was improvement. We've never heard fire Tomlin chants before. And I think Tomlin has lit a fire under these dudes that we've never seen before. So when Tomlin was like, keep watching, we watching. We watching, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they can keep this going, man, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Since then, they've won 3 straight games, and let me remind you, for all the talk there's been
In the month of December.
Baltimore Ravens.
In the month of December.
Bet saying the Ravens are going to win the division when they're 1-5. The Steelers now are
Crazy. Craziness. What kind of take is that? They were 1-5, and these people were sitting up on these panels saying the Ravens were still going to win the division. If that had been Pittsburgh, 1-5, they would have been saying fire Mike Tomlin. He got to go. Stuff got to change in Pittsburgh. Stop it, man.
1 win away from putting away the AFC North. 1 win or 1 Ravens loss, and the team that wants its head coach fired, the fans that want their head coach fired, will be the division champs in the AFC North.
You know what else was impressive yesterday? Everybody for Pittsburgh, their touches mattered. Like, Adam Thielen's been there for 2 weeks. Adam Thielen has 3 or 4 huge catches. DK Metcalf obviously has some big catches. Jonnu Smith and his impact, both backs. And so you're looking at all these different kind of role players fitting into this offense, and now everybody's not wasting opportunities. They're all taking advantage of them.
Yes.
And with Rodgers is doing so many different little things that is enhancing everybody's role in kind of elevating their role.
That's why I'm surprised that you said he's throwing the ball better than he ever has. That's a very specific thing. Because
since
right,
2022.
I get that, but that's not what I've been impressed with by Aaron Rodgers, his ability to throw the ball so far this season or in these last 2 games. I think it's the mental part, it's the getting the guys involved, getting them in and out of bad plays, because I didn't see a bunch of great throws from him yet.
You bullshit. See, this that stuff Dominic be on. Aaron Rodgers 1,000% had some dots, had some dimes. Them joints had heat on it. The wide receiver caught it. The ball was smoking, bro. Stop it. Aaron Rodgers' arm, he still got it, bro. He still got it.
Yesterday, he had some good throws in the last few weeks, but
This is the last few weeks. What are we talking about?
that's not what's leading this offense, making it better. Of course.
Yes, it is. Throwing passes across the middle in tight windows. Like, for instance, prime example, that pass to DK against the Dolphins. The safety was sitting right there. The window was crazy small. Rodgers put some mustard on that bad boy, got it there. Like, yeah. Most quarterbacks in the league ain't making that pass. Most quarterbacks in the league don't got the heart to make that pass. Knock it off.
It's that explosive run game, and as many schemes you come up with, there are 2 things in football that'll never change. You can't win if you can't stop the run. You can't win if you can't run the ball consistently. They did both those things.
Sorry for interrupting you there again. Coach, what does this mean now for the Lions moving forward? Do we feel like their window for the Super Bowl may have closed yesterday?
No chance. I mean, I don't see that. And here's why I say it. I know Dan and I totally disagree on this one. Look,
no matter how bad it looks, they still gonna hype up other teams. He's still trying to sit here and hype the Lions up as if they have a championship team this year. No matter how bad, no matter how grim it looks, the Bears are in a division, Packers are in a division. Both of those teams look better than the Lions. What are we talking about? It's week 17. What are we talking about? They don't even have a playoff spot. And you sit here saying the championship window is not closed?
It's the second-rated offense in the National Football League. They score over 30 points
We do not care. That don't mean nothing. When the playoffs start, that don't mean nothing.
a game, okay? And the defense can't be worse, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way it can be worse. So I think, yes, you know, did it close out this year? Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs this year? Yeah, it doesn't look like it, okay? But it's unfortunate because I'm going to tell you, if they would have made the playoffs, no team would have wanted to play them. Why? Because that offense is that explosive. Now, this game, Dan, you talked about an impressive performance by Pittsburgh.
Yeah. On the line of scrimmage, absolutely.
They outgained the Detroit Lions by 215 yards.
In Detroit.
In Detroit. Ooh. If anybody, they would have said, somebody's going to out.
So, and I had this conversation too, but so what happened to the high-powered offense? You said it's a high-powered offense. They got outgained by 215 yards. Sonic and Knuckles had 15 yards combined. At one point, one of them had like negative 10 yards.
In Detroit.
In Detroit. Ooh. If anybody, they would have said, somebody's going to outgain the other team by 215 yards. Yeah. We would have all thought Detroit was going to run the ball down their throat. They got to look at something. Here's the deal. The difference to me in that game. The edges by Pittsburgh, and Highsmith in particular, the guards and paper, it looked like, yeah, we got this. No, you don't.
Bunch of TFLs.
And bunch of TFLs, they couldn't close the edge. And what happened is, this is what happens when you don't have a running quarterback or an athletic quarterback, because you're not going to play that the same way. Because of the bootlegs and all that type of stuff. But Pittsburgh knew it. That was their night.
Funny how the game was changed around the quarterback. But I was surprised that you said that you disagree with Dan. So, Dan, you think the window's closed?
I have too much respect for Brad Holmes, the general manager, and Dan Campbell to say, like, it's closed. Yeah. I tell two things, though. One, this rebuild has been built at the line of scrimmage, mainly on the offensive line. The offensive line was the strength. It became the calling card. The offensive line has become the weakness in Detroit. So that gives me concern. You're not just snapping your fingers and all of a sudden becoming that dominant offensive line again. And then also, their best players have been their cheapest players. And they're going to have to pay the piper at some point here in the next probably year with a bunch of contracts.
And that is what they have in their future. They have to figure.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Bang, bang, Steeler gang. Anything else, forget it, man. Steelers went into Detroit as underdogs, and they left Detroit a problem. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a problem now, and people are beginning to see it. And I love it because everybody got to eat crow. These dudes got to eat their words. Now, they didn't want to just go all out and just glaze the Steelers. You know, there was a lot of excuses and stuff tied up in that, but they know. They know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, it is what it is. It comes with the territory, but black and gold over everything else. We never fold. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Y'all stay up, you stay blessed, and y'all stay booming. Peace. Booming!